What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight. Hope I don't butcher this. It looks easy, but something tells me this is deceiving. I'm gonna do my best not to butcher it. We have Ave Mujica. Yes, indeed. How about that? Ave Mujica making their debut on the channel. Before going any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Home Gnome, and this is actually Home Gnome's prioritized request for the month of February for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, Home Gnome. Hope you enjoy the show. Home Gnome wanted to see me react to this. It is Ave Mujica with a tune entitled Symbol 1, and in parentheses, Fire. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, ha 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 ha, you gotta be kidding me, this is that song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by, is it Bang or Banji? It's all one word, B-A-N, but here's the thing, B-A-N capital G. So is it Banji or is it Bang? I'm not sure. Dream Channel, so Banji Dream Channel or Bang Dream Channel. Take your pick, whichever one works for you. And the video has 139,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. No idea what that says. Ave Mujica. Is it Mujica or Mujica? I think it's Ave Mujica. I think. I'm not sure. Kill Kiss, Symbol 1, Triangle? Sure, why not? Ave Mujica's 5th live Nova Historia. And this is a long title. Woof. Brutal. We got a live performance here. I was told to start at 6:48, which is right where we're at, and I'm supposed to just let it run. Just let it run all the way to the ending. So the song length is going to be 6.5 minutes. Okay, we should be all right with that. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Okay, I gotta pause somewhere. So they are playing fast. Their tempo is 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, which they have dominantly played in a double time feel. Snare on the downbeats. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Now they have played around with straight time a bit in there as well too. 1 2 da 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 da, and they switch from that to a halftime feel in halftime. So basically, they went to a quarter time feel with the snare on the downbeat of 1 every 2 measures. 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4. Wow, and that's a stark contrast. But I think that's probably why it was so effective. And then from there, they stayed in that halftime tempo, but then went to a straight time. 1 2. So 1 2 3 4 1 2. So instead of going 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, because remember they went to halftime feel in halftime. Then they switched to the straight time in the halftime. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, before they went back up to their original tempo at the double time feel. Talk about a stride. They didn't take, just one step at a time. No. They decided to jump from here all the way down to there and then take one step up and then right back up again. Nothing subtle, except for that one thing where they went from the halftime feel in halftime to a straight time feel in halftime. That was the only subtle thing. Other than that, the jumps were huge, slowing down, and huge coming back up again. It works. It absolutely works. It gets your attention. It absolutely does. It doesn't matter whether you want to pay attention or not. You are going to, because of that huge jump twice. So, it works. It absolutely works. I like what I'm hearing. I definitely like what I'm hearing. I'm not thrilled with what I'm seeing, but what I'm hearing, yeah, I like it. I definitely like what I'm hearing. This might be one of those instances where the live show actually ends up hurting the score. I'm not gonna lie, folks. I'm not happy with what I'm seeing visually. It's not working for me. I don't really think I think we've only, if I'm being honest, out of the main five boxes, I think we've only checked one. I think that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. And we still got 2.5 minutes to go, so we could turn this thing around. We'll have to see. Let's see what else they got in store for us. Big rock and roll ending, yes. It got better. It did get better, but I don't know. I have to really think about. I gotta make sure that I gotta make sure that the check boxes that got checked are accurate, and the ones that are not checked stay empty. I have to double check everything here. So let me think about it. I'm gonna have to really really dwell on this for a bit. So let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Ave Mujica. I hope I pronounced that right. With a live performance of a song entitled Symbol 1 and in parentheses, Fire. That was a request from Home Gnome. And that was actually Home Gnome's prioritized request for the month of February for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, Home Gnome. Hope you enjoyed the show. Okay. I thought about this and I have a score. The score makes perfect sense to me and my reasonings for it make perfect sense. And I'm going to give the score, and a couple people might be a little upset, but I think if they listen to what I say and listen to my explanation as to how I came up with it, I think it'll all make sense to them too. So let's get started here, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that overall presentation a 7.6. Yup, 7.6. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.6. What does that mean? Well, a 7.6 would translate to a really good skill rating because overall, I think this was a really good presentation. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and a B as in boy, B plus letter grade. Yes, a B plus. So there you go, a 7.6, really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B as in boy, B plus letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay, let's start with the song first. I think the song was really good. I really do. I think it was a really good song. Very pleasing to the ear. Some nice little surprises in there too. First of all, the tempo, that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that upbeat, faster tempo. That was nice. Seeing how they utilized as much double time feel as they did with that tempo. I was expecting a lot more reliance on straight time feel, but they really relied heavily on double time feel throughout a good majority of the song. Interesting. I'm not saying I love it. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm saying it's interesting. A little different than what I was expecting. A nice little surprise. So that was neat. And then they did switch between the straight time and the double time, back to the straight time, back to the double time. They did utilize that. When they got to the breakdown section, this was probably the most impressive thing about the song. They didn't just drop down in tempo or in feel. They did both. They went to halftime, and within halftime, they went to a halftime feel, which essentially equates out to a quarter time feel if you keep it the same tempo. Wow. Talk about a jump. But here's the thing, they made it work. And they didn't make it feel awkward. They definitely did it in a way to make you go, wow, what a difference. They definitely did that. But it wasn't such a... Okay, it's not so much in what they did, it was how they did it. They made it seem fluid. They made it somehow go from, double time feel at that fast tempo to a slower tempo at a halftime feel. And it's a big jump, but they did it in such a way that it was smooth. It wasn't janky. It wasn't awkward. It was big. It was noticeable, but it didn't feel bad in any way. It felt good. Like it was necessary. I absolutely believe that halftime feel in the halftime was needed. A big expressional jump to kind of break it up, and then they went from the halftime feel to a straight time feel while in halftime, and then from there they jumped right back up into the double time feel at the original tempo. Another big stride. Not as big as the first one, but it's still a big stride. Definitely forced you, whether you wanted to or not, it forced you to pay attention. And for that reason alone, it's valid. Especially since they did it so nicely, so smoothly, and in a very pleasing to the ear way. Gotta give them props for that. For that alone. The ending. Okay, now listen. I love big rock and roll endings. I do. And I have no problem with them taking the time to do that big rock and roll ending. I will say, after about 30 to 40 seconds, it did start to get a little old. It started to get a little cacophonous. It started to get, a little bit, it was like, okay, I love big endings like that. I do, but you can only take it so far. You know what I mean? Before it starts to become, I hate to say it, but it almost becomes a parody of itself. It almost becomes ridiculous. And I don't think we crossed that line, but we walked right up to it. Right as I was about to say, this is getting ridiculous, the drummer, boom, and then we hit that last note. Okay, fine, you saved yourself, but man, we walked right up to the line of ridiculousness. We didn't cross it, but we walked right up to it. Put our toe right next to it. The song on its own, I mean, I think the chordal progression sounded nice. The musicianship across the board, it was just fine. All on its own, I would give the song, honestly, about a 7.4. That sounds about right. But wait a minute, I'm giving this a 7.6. How did that happen? Well, for those of you that have been watching this channel for any amount of time, you already know what I'm going to say. So say it with me, kids.
Sing it out one time.
A live show can help your score or it can hurt your score. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but this actually helped a little bit. Not as much as it could have, but it did help a little bit. I'll show you how. They were sneaky about a couple of things. So let's go down the checklist and I'll show you what I mean. Stage presence, check. Yeah, they look like performers. They don't look like roadies. They look like performers. They act like performers. Not a problem there. Stage energy. It was all being done by the lead vocalist, rhythm guitarist. She was really doing all of it. Nobody else on the stage was really moving around a whole lot. The keyboard player was moving up and down. I couldn't help but notice that, her feet didn't really move a whole lot, but she kept, ducking down and coming back up, and then ducking down and coming back up in a very theatrical way. It does create energy, not as much as if she were picking up her feet and actually moving around. Not quite as much, but it did help. A little, not a lot, but a little. Everybody else just kind of stayed in their spots, and I wasn't really the biggest fan of that. But luckily, the lead vocalist did most of the heavy lifting there, so it gets a check. Not a very strong check, but it is getting a check nonetheless. Stage interaction, none, zilch, nada. There was nothing happening between performers within the context of the song. I'm not counting the big rock and roll ending. I mean, that's just her, that's like a conductor, taking the bow and then acknowledging the band and then taking another bow. It's like that. She was going around, getting up on the eagle blocks, taking all the accolades, and then thank you very much. Oh, by the way, here's the band, kind of thing. That's not interaction. I'm sorry. I don't count that as interaction. Number one, it happened after the song was over. Number two, that to me is, I mean, the argument can be made borderline disrespectful. I just, she's up here at the front taking all the accolades, taking all the credit, taking all the bows, and then, by the way, here's the band. It just, I don't really call that interaction, guys. I'm sorry, I don't. So I'm going to call that no. That's a big fat goose egg, guys. Crowd interaction. Okay, here's where things get interesting. Was she interacting with the crowd? In a roundabout way, yes, she was. She wasn't, okay, so she would get up on for example, she would get up on the eagle blocks. She would hit the chord, and out of the chord, she would swing her arm up. She would swoop it up like that. Now, she never pointed to the crowd. She never, told the crowd to, clap or, make some noise or anything like that. But through her motion, everybody in the audience followed. Now, is that crowd interaction? And technically, by letter of the law, yes, it is. She did a movement, and the crowd responded by doing the same movement. She moved her arm another way, and the crowd responded by doing the exact same thing. Monkey see, monkey do. Now, would people consider that leading the crowd? I would consider that leading the crowd, to some extent. You know, I mean, it's not, it would have been nice if she had, you know, emphasized or even pointed to the crowd, but she stood there looking over the horizon as she did this big, grandioso motion that the crowd luckily just happened to emulate. I know people are going to say that's a stretch, DH, but I mean, if you look at the definition of crowd interaction, it is. It's the weakest form of crowd interaction you can have. Monkey see, monkey do. You know, it is the weakest kind of crowd interaction you can have, but it is crowd interaction. So I am giving it a check. It's a weak check, but it's getting a check nonetheless, and that's the most important one. Showmanship. Now, here's where they get a strong check. While I may not be the biggest fan of her quote-unquote crowd interaction, I will say it was theatric. It was grandioso. It caught your eyes. It caught your attention, and you couldn't help but watch as she was doing it. On top of that, the piano player doing her ducks and come up, you know, duck down, come up, duck down, come up. She was fun to watch too. So showmanship was happening. So I will give that the check. Absolutely. It's a strong check too. And then production. Now production is bonus points, okay? But I gotta say, the pyro looked good. The pyro looked nice, and those lights, very appropriate for the song. Staying within the orange, yellow, and red, never utilizing any blues or greens or purples, just the warm, bright colors for this style of song. And it's considering all the pyro that was being used, clearly the lights were programmed. So yes, production also gets the check. This is how we're coming up from a 7.4 up to a 7.6. We could have gone higher. Oh yes, we absolutely could have. But taking into account what we did get, we did move up by 0.2, up from 7.4 up to 7.6. And that's where we're going to stay, folks. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 7.6, which is a really good skill rating, 4 out of 5 stars, and the B as in boy, B+ letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.